What up, what up, what up? Welcome, Saturday night, GCC list. Job 1. Rocket slingshot. Hopscotch. Already classic. Yoink. Try to get, oh, perfect. Get the right hook, you just hit the brake. Don't even try. Hand braking all the time, you just need to push the front brake once in a while, just you see the cars oversteering. That's how you come first. Damn. Keep it under control. Just pressing brake and handbrake at the same time. Messing around. Should go click. Damn. Oh! Madre mia! Mortality. Damn it, I lost my first place. Go back. Oh, ooh, that was close. Stop. Oh, man. Oh, I gotta... Really? Oh, what a bullshit is that, you know? Oh, what a... Gotta get back in the shit to get out of it? What the fuck is that? Oh, man, what a bullshit. Oh, man, I lose fucking 2 places because of that, you know? Bullshit, take a bullshit. Thing doesn't even spawn in the middle, fuck. He's already in. Yay. Can't even find your own idea, can you? Sure, left, right, your way through the whole shit. Punk shit. I'm out. Secrets Journal. Too bad it's not in here. Kinda nice car. I don't like the sound. Oh, jeez. Over quick, but I'm not gonna regret it. No idea what's... Oh, hallo, Snowboard! I think I did this before, it's a funny one. Taco truck. Like the tires on fire. It's great that my plane didn't explode. Now I'm stranded. No grenades.
This ain't fucking happening. Ah! Ah, hell. Smells like shit coming out of your mouth. Oh, great. Now look what you've gone and done. No, please, no!
He's fucking planted.
What the hell? Did you see that shit?
Look at that. Hello, Mr. Seven. Nice to talk to you, man.
Feels weird communicating through YouTube and stuff and talk.
True, true.
Although I work for voice change when I was
Yeah, I can't listen to it because I hate my own voice. If I have to listen to it, yeah. I can do it if I put it on twice the speed, though. It's pretty funny then. It's going like this.
Sound like the chipmunks.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing some races tonight?
We're on the GCC list now. You just missed your list. Your job. We did the NASCAR thing there. Kinda NASCAR. Sorta NASCAR, yeah. Yeah, it's sorta far. Actually, you forgot to put some more laps in, so we just did one lap, which is yeah. I forget that too sometimes. You have to test it and you put it on one lap and then you forgot to change it up. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, it depends if I make a serious racetrack, I gotta do a few laps. But I already do the laps before I test it, so often one lap is good, but depends all. Just started my race actually.
So I guess if you want to capture it, why wouldn't you?
No idea how that works. I'm showing offline and all that, so I wouldn't say it's not me, but oh yeah, a lot of people got that problem. Yeah, it sucks big time. email Windows, email Xbox, I guess. Oh, I'm glad if I see it in an hour. Especially if I'm hosting like a playlist event races or something, you know, I'm really busy with the whole hosting. We do different stars grids and all that, and there's a lot of oral adjustments. Yeah, almost 21. I haven't seen a lot of people with more. Only one. I think only one or two. Ooh. I would have had more wins if I just won my own races, but yeah, especially in 360 times, I had to give a lot away just so people stayed in there and finished the lap, you know. I don't think so. Did you test that? Yeah. But did you test that? I mean, did you look at it and then ask someone to not vote and then look at the number again? Yeah. Yeah, I always believed that it was, if you just left, it was just yeah, no vote. But I do get thumbs down. I could explain that, you know. Because I know some tracks are only driven by people that like the track, you know, or like the races, and sometimes there's just a random or two in, and then yeah, you get that. But I'm not really focused on it, so. Yeah, you know, you can't please everybody, so that's the final point of that. You know, if you can't please everyone, so the only thing you can do is be good at what you do. You know, and, yeah, yeah, I love what you do, man. It's not my thing, but I love what you do. You know. If all people made shit like me, then yeah, shit like that wouldn't be yeah special or nothing. You know, it would just be normal. Yeah, I go mental if I do that shit. I like the stunt races where your car does all the work and all you have to do is throttle and just glide up a wall once in a while. Yeah, some of those are brilliantly made. I mean, I'm totally amazed. They create a new world, you know, with just that race. You know, it's just new sensations that people never ever could experience before. You know? And if the future goes further and you can plug into the game, I mean, imagine that you experience the whole stunt race just like it is real. You know, it's crazy shit. Yeah, I got pretty good imagination, so I'm already deeper in the shit than other people, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't all have to be strict like that. I mean, as long as it fits in the concept, that's because people can make something that doesn't even fit in any concept, and yeah, I think it's a bit inspireless, and then I can cry, you know. I'm not saying mine are all good because I got some crappy ones out there, but exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do the same. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Of course, of course. And it will inspire people to try it too, you know. Because I can imagine that like if people are watching a YouTube video of mine where I go like it's a playlist of like 15 to 20 hours just to make a track that that they got something like yeah, I'm not gonna do that, you know. So it could discourage people and yeah, they gotta start somewhere, you know. You can fix that. First you have to know what the problem is. So thanks to GCC, I'm up to date on that shit. They very quickly find out what the problem is. It's a good community. So no, in general, once there's a problem, it just takes a few hours or a day that people put it up. Like the invalid races was mostly due to the trigger points that are placed too close to the water or on top of the water. 90% of the jobs they're at the sea or next to the sea of a lake or something. I had like, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe more that I don't know of, because I have so many I can't control them all. I just can't go through the whole list to check what works or whatnot. So yeah, I heard about the trigger and I fixed the ones that I wanted fixed. So. And it was just the water problem. I don't think the props are the problem, but it's the trigger where you place a trigger point. I had like a tractor race in the swamp that was like, that was one of my best races, the most popular, just fun, just no props whatsoever, just tractor and go through the swamp, And that became invalid. The trigger was just on like a grassy part of the swamp, so there was no water in the trigger. It wasn't underwater or nothing, it was just on a swamp land, and it was invalid. So I had to move on the actual bridge, so it's on concrete. So, but there's some tricks for the trigger. So I don't know if you're aware of them. Like you can place a prop in the air and just put a car on it, sit in the car or sit in the car, and then in your third person you push your camera backwards so you're looking at the exhaust, and then you can place the checkpoint anywhere. The trigger, that is the trigger. That's a great tip, yeah. The trigger. For the checkpoint, it's no problem, right? No, you have to place a template. That's it, right? It has to be a template. The platforms are just the panels, huh? But if you place a panel in the air, you can't place a checkpoint on there, right? No. If you leave the prop there, it's no problem. But if you erase the prop and what you want to place, yeah, it's a checkpoint in the air, then yeah. Oh. I always use templates, so you just put 2 props and then make a template. Erase the original props and then put the template down. Put the checkpoint on there and then erase the. You can erase the template by pressing Y and not X. So that's why it glitches like that. So you can just press Y when you erase it. Yeah. Save regularly, right? You can sync, right? But I think they blocked it now. They patched it. That's how people made jobs under the map. You know, they just made a template above the map and then just sank it in. And then you use the holes, like you said, where you have a little glitch. You know. But they patched that. It's too bad. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. Things like that always pop up on the social club site right away. You know. Oh, they patched this and that. I can't do this, or my job is broken. Or... Is it a GTA one? Oh, oh, like that. I just did them one time, you know. Yeah. 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 No, I have no time for regular jobs, you know. Now on the list is free. Normally I'm at partially assisted. It does that automatically. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion about the whole thing. I'm like, you know, just let it be assisted partially or something, you know. Then keep things interesting. Now you got people moving left and right the whole time, you know. That's so ridiculous. I mean, left riding your way through the whole, yeah, just so you can't lock on them, you know. You can't hit them, you know. Yeah. 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 Yeah, but the left and righting thing is ridiculous too. Yeah. That's yeah, they're just running left right the whole time. You know? When I use a gun, you know, I shoot someone. You know, if he's like 10 to 15, 20 feet away, I just shoot him. You know, what the fuck? You're not gonna like aim 3 meters next to it. You know, I mean. And I'm not like specialized in the setting and the sensitivity of the joystick and all of it. My settings are on racing, so I can't mess with that. Player mode? No. Um, I never thought about that. I mean, maybe if you put it on focus, it's better focus. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they secretly did it like that. Yeah, they're pretty detailed in a lot of things, like the spoilers and the tires and the wheels and never. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Very, very rarely. Yeah, that's just because I pay a lot, and they better let me just not have that because otherwise I'll make a phone call. Yeah, I hate those mails. I just send it back and I say, really? Really? Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? And they talk about, just resetting your modem and all that. I say, really? Really? It's you guys. It's not my modem, it's you guys. Yeah. that, that, that's what I said too. I said, are you a robot? What the fuck is this? With these robotic answers. But if you compare it to like a year ago or something, it was total madness. I mean, all the people with the problem with what is it, open or closed or medium. What is it? What's it called again? No, open. No, there are settings in there. Is it mod? No, it's not. Not settings. NAT. Oh. Yeah, I think they fixed a lot of that because I haven't experienced the same quantity of people having trouble joining and leaving. It still happens, but yeah, you never know. Some people have their phone for internet for their Xbox. I don't even know how that works, but don't complain if it doesn't work. I mean. And he's like, I'm on my phone or what? Yeah, but I got like Heisenberg in the crew. He always plays on his phone, and he rarely has problems. But he's from Germany, so they got pretty good technology there. They're pretty good in the materials. I'm not sure if that's true though. Probably. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, and then they sell you packages of this and packages of that, and it's all bullshit. They can do 7,000K or G or F or what is it? It's easy, but they just yeah, it's like the TVs, they could give us a holographic TV like maybe half a decade ago, a centennial ago, but they just milk the whole process of releasing the technology. Because first it's always for the military, and then the people get it. That's for everything, microwaves, radios, the whole shebang. Everything is always for the military first, and then the people get it. So when the people get it, it's tested for years. Yeah, true, true. Pulverize there, yeah. Yeah, I think they have to. I think their policy to creators is a bit sad actually sometimes. If you see how they just, yeah, yeah, or just pay you out. Yeah, yeah, like that, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know there's people that just want to pay for things. I mean, I'm not a fan of that because there's enough money in the whole business thing world for just to cut some slack to the people that yeah, contribute so much. And I think yeah, that's what attracts me in the game is the whole underworld of yeah, of custom gameplay. That's just it's just unprecedented. It's a whole new world. It has nothing to do with GTA 5. It's a completely new realm that players create. It's amazing. I think it even amazes the Rockstar creators themselves. How we push the boundaries. Yeah, the whole sumo setup was just a rip off. It's just a steal from a creator that just invented it. I mean, that's yeah. They should give the guy 1 million up there. I would do it 100 grand is good. And that in its case inspires again to create even more or better. I got a race crew, so we focus on racing, but yeah, we have a lot of fun time in between too. No, no, are you crazy? I just do it once in a while, just to chill out, clear my mind. Cause like hosting events it's pretty intense. The more work you put into it, the better it is. The most steady event is our Porsche Cup. We do a Porsche Cup the whole 2017, so it's every month one race. And then we do a car meet before, make a whole video about it. Sometimes it's I don't know, that's 24-hour race with the qualifying. And you got that's actual yeah, endurance racing, 24 hours GTA time. It's, it's about 45 minutes. Yeah. No, it's 24 25 laps, but it's a track of 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is 1 hour in GTA time. But we have a pre-qualify, so everybody has to do their qualifying laps. And it's the track has been like that like 4 years or something since 360. It has been changed a lot, but it's still the same base track with the two bridges. It's a gigantic ring actually. Yeah, I tried to pull off some drag races on Wednesday, but it's not getting enough people. Like a shootout series where you just do one race, and if you win, you go to the next round, and then you get the winner. The winner of the final comes back next week for the final, and then the other ones have to challenge everyone to get the second spot in the final. Yeah, you gotta have people, and the more people, the better it gets, of course. But I make a lot of captures in that too, so it's always fun to put that in a list here and there. Yeah, definitely. I'm not for sure if I tried that. I think I did it one time with a cleaning lady in the villa mansion. I had a cleaning lady and I didn't want her to move. But I haven't actually paid attention if she actually moves. When I saw her, she stayed there, but I don't know what she does. Other people see her or something. So shit like that is very hard to get the whole gameplay on your own. You know, you gotta test it with a lot of people and get some good feedback. So that's what these playlists are very good for in GCCC. There's a lot of creators in there, most of them I guess. And yeah, if you want opinions, you can always ask. But I gotta fucking shoot 20,000 bullets without killing him. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I hate weapons and fighting. Put him on a platform. I have a sniper in the villa and he stays there, but he can't go anywhere, so he's just on the roof, you know. If he jumps off, he's dead, I mean. See, I'm shooting my gun, and when I actually come to his head to shoot him, then my bullets are up, and I gotta reload. It's ridiculous, this setting. Yeah, But that hasn't been all. That hasn't been like that all the time. I mean, it wasn't like that in the beginning. They have to fix that, yeah. Not that, just survive, you know. Back a year ago, when you fell off the mountain, you just slided a bit. It was no problem. Okay, if you start bouncing and rolling like a man, you know, your head hits the rocks. Okay, that's it's normal that you die, but now you die just like after like 4 feet. Your character just dies. I'm like, what? I was stronger than that, you know. But I think, yeah, I have the sneaking suspicion that the good creators are actually working on GTA 6, and that, yeah, some brookies are stuck fixing the issues with with this version. That would be cool. That would be cool. Of course, of course. There's people that spend hundreds of bucks on that while the game doesn't even cost that, yeah. I never ever would do that. Okay, yeah, you got no. I would do it, but the problem is you can make money in the game, so I just think it's ridiculous, you know? And people ask me how many messages I got for like give me modded money, you know, with the level 1,000. The people just now it's okay, it still happens, but like on 360 it was daily like 10, 20, 30 messages. Give me money. Are you mother? And in the beginning, I responded. You know, I was like, "Play the game, man. Just play the game." You know, because I know how it goes. You know, the people just get the money, and what do they do with the money? Nothing, because they can't. They don't know how to play the game. You know. They're like just completely bored. Of course, because you don't play the game, you know. You're not in a story or nothing, you know. You just steal shit, and then you have no one to play it with or nothing like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's my. Just sad. Why would you even want that level? I mean, what are you proving? You know, I mean, there's no bragging rights or nothing. Yeah, put some numbers behind it, you know, 6,273 or something. I mean, no, 8,000 roundabout. I mean, that's. I mean, yeah, yeah. I just met a level 2000 actually in the previous in the lobby I was in before I joined the list. I sent him a message. I said because he was like 2008 or 18 or something, and I was like, hey, that's legit, you know. And he said, yeah, I was since day one, man, since day one. I was like, cool, man, awesome. I invited him to the club. I got a club 1000 where you have to minimum level 1000 to join the club. Completely useless the club, but it's just for the bragging rights, you know. No, it's like 7 already. There's not many out there, no. I don't know, it goes pretty quickly because I wanted to enjoy my level 1000, the round number, you know. I had a special logo made for it, and like 1 or 2 days, and it was gone. 1001. Ah, damn it. Fuck that. Yeah. I made a little video with the party on the boat and all that. Yeah. But I was never like some people are really like I gotta get this statistic and that quota and you know that shot kill ratio and they would do everything to just get it. You know, no, I just play the game and everything comes along. You know. And that's what I tell the young ones, you know, just don't focus on the level, you know, just play what you like and then the rest, one day you will hit it, you know. And then you're like, oh, that was quick. But if you count it off, you know, it just takes ages and ages. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Huh? You know how they play? If they're in a good player session, they leave and they search a session till they find some 6 or 7 year olds that can shoot, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm the man here," you know. I'm gonna get my ratios here. And then they can go to their friends, which they never play with, just to brag. Just hey, look at my ratio. Just play with the friends and what you do here. There's races like that to get the race quota, you know, to get more wins than losses or something, you know, and then they just go do like a hard track or just make a track themselves and then invite randoms all the time to get the easy wins. I mean, okay, you know, if you want to put hundreds of hours in cheating that shit, go ahead, you know. That's not for me, you know. I want to do something. I want to do something real, you know. I don't care if I lose or win. No, they're just letting themselves believe that they do, yeah. It's lying to yourself. That's what it is. So yeah, that's fucked up for your mental. Then you got like the players that like go do secret shit on their own in their little private session, and then when they get the money, they get a Hydra and they go troll it, just regular sessions where they never come. You know, that's so sad. Yeah. I'm not saying everybody is like that. I mean, there are some people that do some good Hydra shit. I mean, but use it if you come into a war or you're in an issue or something. Don't go just trolling, you know. Yeah, yeah. There's no lessons and easy shit, yeah, of course. Gotta have a challenge. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I report a lot of people. And a lot of people do something bad. Yeah, I do like car meets, so anybody that does something wrong there is reported and reported to live too, and blocked, put on a blacklist, banned from clubs. They will never be able to join the club or never get back in the game with me. I do races. If I do races with randoms, I hate non-contact, so I do a lot of contact because it's just how it is. It's just fun, It's just you need the contact, Otherwise, you're just doing ghost race alone. But if I do it with randoms, sometimes I get to ban people again and report them. But I try to keep it on non-contact if it's really like really random. If I go for full lobbies or shit like that. But some races are just meant to be played in contact. Like for instance, a demolition race. You can't have a demolition race if it's non-contact, right? You just even then people are trolling by just I don't know, doing the wrong thing. I think I have a gigantic ban list. Yeah, 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 yeah. What are your thoughts about the transform races? What do you think about the races? Don't be polite. Don't be polite. I think the basket one is a rip-off from other jobs, but I think the baseball might even be too. But they're boring as hell. I'd rather do like a bad oval NASCAR track for 99 laps than just do those races every day. It's really that boring. I don't know, the switch doesn't happen fast enough or something, or the cloud ruins it, or it's just too arcadey, you know, the rings in the sky. What the fuck? Why do you need a ring? The whole checkpoint is a ring. Why would you put a ring around that, you know? It's just, I'm not waiting for those ring props. I call it catering to 8-year-olds. That's what I call it. I know someone said that it was Sonic, Sega Sonic or something. No, the whole transform thing that they ripped it off from Sonic. Yeah, I played it like 20 years ago or something. But apparently there was a version where he transformed and where he could spin through things or something, and then the cloud appears. You know, I don't know. I tell you, there's some fucking smart people out there. So everything is out there, so they can't do anything without getting caught. And they had a lot of bad comments because there's so many people just messaging them that they're so lame. Yeah, yeah. But he turned against the system, right? Yeah. Cool. I love it. Yeah, don't break my mouth open on conspiracies. You can be harder core than me, but I appreciate your your efforts. I was really, really deep. I'm still deep in it. I don't believe it. I know it. You believe it's a ball, right? Why don't you know it's a ball? Yeah. Same. It will stay the same. No. That depends, huh? If every spot has the same pressure, the shape stays the same. That's physics. But I understand what you mean. But that you're basing your whole concept on on a thing called like that there's pressure pushing the whole thing together. I don't know if that's true, you know. Gravity is not a pressure system, that's a pulling system, right? So it pulls inward, but that's not pushing, right? You say pressure, pressure is pushing. So how does a vacuum press against the earth? How does a vacuum press against the earth? That's what science claims, that the vacuum is pressing the atmosphere to the globe so it stays around it. While it travels at thousands of miles an hour through some universe, yeah. It's ridiculous. Of course. Again, I ask you, why don't you know it's a ball? No, no, but we'll do that next. Why don't you know it's a ball? So that's your opinion is you can only know it when you see it from a spaceship, and that's a good insight. Because no one that hasn't been that high could claim that they know, you know, and that's how the lie works. No, no, that's a fisheye lens camera then. That's a fisheye lens camera then. No, it's the fisheye lens camera. All the cameras were equipped with with those lenses. Especially back in the days, there were no cameras with a straight lens, you know. That's a long while in technology. Then just Google pictures from the Himalaya and you'll see pictures where the horizon is like totally flat and totally straight. So how you explain that? So your uncle took pictures that other people like have straight and he has a curved one. So that something's wrong, right? Was it a group of Masons? Your uncle may be a secret Mason, ne? Yeah, but if the lens curves the picture, then it's normal, yeah. Take the Felix Baumgartner jump, right? The Red Bull Stratosphere jump, yeah. Did you see that one? The guy that jumped out of the balloon. It was like I don't know 200,000 feet or something. It was he was in the stratosphere, so you could see the ball, you know. And there was a camera outside, and it filmed the Earth, yeah. And it was totally curved like a ball, right? But what you saw of the Earth was only New Mexico, and if you see the curve, and it's ridiculous that the curve is so big, and New Mexico is all covers the whole ball. You get it? So it's actually a distorted distorted picture by fisheye lens, which curves the edges of the picture. And inside his capsule, where he jumped out of, was a flat lens camera, and on that camera you see the sky totally flat, the horizon. He's a Mason, man. He's just in on the whole deal. I mean, the whole deal was just a trickery for the whole movement to come out and to use it as evidence. But that's like third or fourth layer shit talking, you know. I mean, no, no. Some no. If you are licensing for a pilot and you do all the studies and all the shit and all the this and that, and nobody tells you that it's flat, you have no idea, right? Yeah, but if you never think or never stop thinking about it, you have no idea. Yeah, you just fly and you think the ball is so gigantic that I keep flying and it just keeps on being flat, you know. They never stop and think about it, you know. And there are YouTube videos out there of people going into the cockpit and asking the pilot, you know, what does your gyroscope do? Does it account for the curve, and does it bend down a little bit the nose? Because if you have a ball, you gotta bend your nose down if you fly long distances. And the pilot says no, no. So the gyroscope keeps the plane level. So the Earth is flat, and some pilots say yes. So yeah, it's up to the individual to find it out himself, you know. That's bullshit. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. They only account the wind. Bullshit. There's snipers that just claim that it isn't true, so YouTube it. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that there are snipers that claim that it's bullshit, you know? Like the cannoneers from the marine ships and shit, even some of those say that it's bullshit, that they have to account for any spin. You know what it is, that a spin of 1,000 miles an hour at the equator? You know what it is? That means if your bullet travels even 5 minutes, you have to account for like, what is 100 yards? I mean, this totally makes no sense. But people have not got the. They do now, but they didn't have the whole recognition system in the brain just to find out about it, you know. For example, the number 1 million, you know, if you go 100 years back, nobody used that, right? Only maybe some scientist or some alchemist or something, you know. But now a trillion or a bazillion or shit like that, you know. So people have more words to express and more words to let your brain process. So there's more explanations possible now. And that's how the whole shit is coming out, just by people being logical, you know. And if you think about it, if you research it, it's just ridiculous how yeah how easy it was for them to put the lie up. You know, all they do is from infant on they program you constantly till you're like out of school, right? And they make sure the people that get out of school that they don't get good jobs and don't get this or that, you know, that they're just pariahs, you know. That's the whole thing, you know. Yeah, don't try to teach me, man. I'm in this shit for like 20 years or something. I'm an expert at logic. And once you see the big picture, it becomes easier to find the pieces. You know what I mean? If you find pieces and you don't have the big picture, you have no idea what's going on. You might even throw some pieces away. But if you know what the big picture is, you can just collect the pieces and fit them in. And that's what I'm doing. Now, the whole flat earth thing is just meant to come out, you know? It's just meant to be dissolved, that whole lie. So, if you like it or not, it will keep growing till it's generally known that it's flat. And then we can get to the real question, right? It has to be, you know, the truth has to prevail, right? You know, and people know that they didn't went to the moon. Some still believe it, right? But it's becoming less and less. So now you got the 9/11 thing. That's already a decade ago. So people find out that that's bullshit, you know. So now people find out that every terrorist act is bullshit. There is no terror. All terror is just a setup to keep people in fear and just to keep them controlled, you know. They provide the problem and they provide the solution, and the people are happy. That's all it is. If they don't provide the problem, the people get bored and might take over or shit like that, you know? Of course, of course. But it's meant to come out, so there's a bigger purpose going on. Because if it wasn't meant to be discovered that 9/11 was fake and that it's a ball or that it's flat Earth, if it wasn't meant to come out, it would have never come out, yeah. Because they had us so good, right? I mean, if you can let people like what is it, 7 billion people believe that it's a ball while it isn't, I mean that's a big trick, right? Fuck you, David Copperfield, no? Now, I'm not saying everyone, because I think the ancient cultures, the people that still live in the woods and shit, and then in the desert and all that, the old cultures. I mean, they know, you know, they know. You don't have to tell them, you know, because they got the word mouth to mouth word about how everything works, you know. I'm not sure, but it seems to be domed. How can you fall off if you can? Oh no, he put it on contact. Okay, that's funny. Uh, like if you have a flat Earth, there's no two poles. So the South Pole is just a ring around it. So if it's true that there's a ring around it of ice, it may be like thousands of miles of ice. I mean, who's gonna get over that, you know? The military, of course. That's a good question, man. And there's actually people now on like GoFundMe and shit just to organize trips over there, you know. But you don't know what you're gonna get, so probably the military has discovered it all, you know. And there are like claims that say that the whole rocket program was like just to find out about the dome, you know, and just even to break it, attempts to break the dome. So I think that they already know if it's bounded or not, or if there's other lands or something. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. And I think the ancient scriptures, they just tell everything, but the problem is they're all at the basements in the Vatican and Rome, so they're protected by the pedophiles of the, of the world. Yeah. It's the system is amazing. It's you cannot deny it's a genius, but it's definitely insidious. And that's why it attracts people, you know. People want to be in the rich club, you know. That's how they paint it all off, you know, the rich club, you know. Be your own self-made man and get rich, and you know, till you get there and you see it's just an empty shell and cocaine and empty whores and yeah. But it gets deeper than that. You get the cloning stations where they get the extra bodies, the like copies of your own body or maybe someone else, or it goes pretty deep, man. But like you say, it's all going to a digitalization of the whole thing. So I think they're blurring the human consciousness, so that if they present the virtual reality, that everybody just hooks on, you know? And if I think we're already in the matrix. So what they did was actually create a matrix in a matrix. Then you're talking deep shit, right? Yeah, I did. They say it's a dream within a dream, right? But I always explain it like this, you know, if you're ghost and then you're just gas, or you're just an entity just being, you know, I mean there's no material, there's nothing, you know, it's just you and love and all, everybody's one, you know. Then maybe it's exciting to create a shit like this world we created and just participate in that. And they gave people lives and shit. So what do? We do exactly the same in the digital world, right? We create a world, and you can just enter that, and you can die, right? And we just add some or erase some limits that we have in real life, and you get yourself an interesting simulation. And that's exactly what we did to create this whole Earth thing. But there may be some dirty satanistic backgrounds. What did you say? The universe is here forever, or what? There is no universe. There may be other dimensions or other realms or other matrices, but this universe, this is all here, right? The sun and the moon and the stars is all here. It's right in the dome, right? It's right in the whole system. There's no universe where balls sprint through the air at tens of thousands of miles an hour. It's completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. Yeah. It's not my thinking. I'm just putting facts on top of each other, and then I get a picture. If I say I know, then for me it's a fact. I call it analyze and conclude. You know, if you analyze something, you can put a conclusion down. Now you gotta be aware of trickery and setups and the whole shit. But like a good example is like aliens. You know, I always was interested, just because of my astrological birth sign, interested in the unexplainable and shit. So yeah, when you hear about UFOs as a kid, you know, you get interested, and it gets further and further. And when I was in my 20s, I joined the Buffon. It's like the MUFON equivalent in Belgium. Do you know MUFON? It's UFO society, you know. They do the research and all that. So I did all that shit. But I never concluded for myself that I might have I might have sneakily put a small conclusion in there, but I was always like sneaky suspicious to the whole concept of the alien thing, you know. And along the way, I had to put some conclusions down to base further reasoning on, and that's the danger between yeah, thinking you know and actual knowing. So that's a very thin line. But now with what I know now, I know that the whole alien concept thing is a rip off, like you say, from other dimensions or other realms, and they just put it in this realm just to make space real. And I know space isn't it's not travelable. They cannot put a rocket up there and just put people on Mars. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Mars is a etherical thing. So it's a mechanic from the human character, you know. It has nothing to do with space and flying over there, you know. True, but you can know that the Earth is flat. Well, I don't have a helicopter, but I know that if they claim that the Earth spins 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, that's according us a point in space, let's say, where the Earth crosses. You know, so that's the measurement. It's not to the center of the Earth or nothing. So they claim it's 1,000 miles an hour. So logically, if you're at the equator and you got a helicopter and you hover for 1 hour, means that the ball should spin beneath you at 1,000 miles an hour. That means that you will end up 1,000 miles further on the ball. That's logic. But that doesn't happen. So what they claim, what science claims, is that the atmosphere is actually taking the helicopter along at 1,000 miles an hour with the spin of the Earth. So we don't notice the speed in the helicopter because the Earth is spinning along with us, right? But it's a fucking 1,000 miles an hour, you know? Then explain to me, if the atmosphere does that at 1,000 miles an hour, how does a butterfly at the equator fly against the spin? True, of course, it's a total paradox. They created a total paradox, but nobody like thinks about it. I never did too till I stumbled upon flat Earth. They just put the solution in there, but it's a paradox, so they have no solution for the counterpart, but they're not counting on the on the people questioning the whole thing, you know? Science works for the scientists because they believe in the whole system. But if once you start looking further, you know, if there's a scientist that figures out that it's all bullshit, they just kill him, you know? Simple as that. So it's all about their systems behind the whole thing, you know. If you're a Mason, you're taught to come up for the brotherhood, you know. So the whole brotherhood is prior to your family, to your woman, to the whole thing. That's how they keep control of the whole shit, you know. They only let people further back in the truth if they get them on a certain level and they know they can manipulate them to hide it, you know. And if they don't hide it, they just kill them. It's easy to cover up the lie if you just make it big enough. You gotta stop and think for yourself how many times you question something. People never question something, right? Exactly. Not even that. I think the issue here is that they limit people in their thinking process. So, and your brain has a defense mechanism that just activates by triggers, and they designed the whole thing that the defense gets triggered every time they get attacked, you know? So it's yeah, it's brilliantly made, the whole setup. Of course, it's not schools, it's indoctrination institutes. There's no schools. Schools is a big foolery. That's the saddest thing humanity has ever produced. It's a school. Because all they do is brainwash you and pull you away from the original truth, right? Okay, okay, reading, and math. What math? You can teach 1 + 1 is 2 to your kid, right? Yeah, of course. Why would you need a school for that? Does your kid need logarithms? Logarithms. Yeah, can you use it? I mean, if your kid plays a basketball match, a basketball game, he has used trillions of logarithms. But no, they try to teach you in a book and writing what it all is. You don't even know what it is. You do it every day, right? It's just a little example, you know. And people think, oh, but my kid has to learn this and that. No, that's bullshit. You can teach your kid, but what is the problem? People don't have the time to be with their kids, right? So people, what actually happens now in most cases is people who get kids, they get some free money with it, which is nice. And they take some more hours at work just to be away from them. And then they get the nanny to watch them, to educate them. They put them in like, I don't know, maybe even border schools or like nurseries before and after school because they're at work. And then they come home from work and they pick up their kid and they're fucking bored and fucking pissed off with their work. So they don't like spending time with their kids, and it's just completely fucked up. It's the system that's set up that way, yeah, of course. Because the system demands from people that they work 8 hours a day, you know. And I have no idea who ever came up with that concept, you know. That's another story, but they're in the same system, right? Now there's a guy that started another movement, and he went to Africa to introduce it because the villages are still small there, and he calls it contribution. So people just contribute whatever their specialties are, you know. I mean, that can be anything. I mean, in this Western world, it would be crazy, but if you're a gamer, you're providing gaming to other people and shit, you know. So you're actually giving back to society, right? So if you're in African villages, you get like the waterman and the meat man and the fish man and the bread man, and you know. So and the builders and the thinkers, and the point is that people contribute in whatever they do, you know. People contribute just by being here. Now there may be a few jobs that are like trash shit or shit like that nobody wants to do, or sewer fixing or shit. You can just fix that with a few like volunteer labor hours or something, you know, with community hours where everyone has to do the same job, but because everyone does it, you only have to do it like once a year or just a few hours a week for some things, you know. But yeah, like that, yeah, like that. But they made us think that it's necessary that everyone works for 8 hours to provide the whole system with everything they want, you know? And that's ridiculous. So what you get a system that wants more and more and more, and the more they get, the more they throw away, you know? You gotta take a look at the garbage belt. It's incredible what people throw away. If you bring the whole belt to Africa, they would use everything. They would even use the empty bottles. Just, yeah, to keep things in. Yeah, they do that, huh? So it's about time that we snap out of the indoctrination, you know? And it's all has to be like that, you know, because like you can say whatever you want about YouTube, but it's an information source of none ever seen before, right? Not in this realm. Of course, it's a duality. you don't have anything without good or bad. But good or bad doesn't even exist. It's all about your perspective at that time and moment, right? You have a viewpoint, and your viewpoint is the unique viewpoint. So what creates this world is all the viewpoints of all the people that participate here. That's what creates this world. What is the elite doing? The elite is manipulating those viewpoints so the people project the reality that they can take advantage of, right? That's all it is. Did I silence you there? That's the big picture, right? So once you realize that there's no good or bad and that everything has to be like it is, you get a lot of power, right? Because nothing can harm you anymore. You don't know you don't know. That's not you. That's not your business, right? If the guy that gets killed incarnated in this experience to experience the killing or the being killed or being raped, whatever, then you would obstruct that. You would obstruct his destiny, you know. Then it has to be that way. That's how weird that's how weird it is. People say to me, yeah, but you know, I tell them, you know, it's a script. Everything has to be is like it has to be, and you're just experiencing that's all. And if they say, yeah, but if I choose to do nothing and I sit in my room the whole time, I said, yeah, then that's your destiny at that time, right? You just be stubborn and try to prove the system wrong. Right and wrong is a concept of perception at that time and moment. Maybe 10 years later you thought, oh yeah, now I know why that happened, right? For instance, when you're a small kid and you're walking around, you bump your head against a glad table. That's because you have a concept of innocence and good and right. But if you see the bigger picture and you know that everything happens as it has to be, you can't even argue with the whole thing. Of course, of course, of course, of course. I would die if I got a dog. If my dog died, I would just collapse. I mean, but does it make it bad? Yeah, but maybe I get a new dog, and exactly at that moment, that dog is available. That's gonna teach me something else. So there you go. Yes, of course. The thing is, you don't immediately see the reason, and that's, yeah, can be a problem, and that causes traumas. Traumas are living in the past. People that always look back and think, oh, I should have, or I wish I had. And you can't do that. If you have to live in the now, right? There's people that plan in the future that are always looking for, I gotta have this by then and do that, and they're never in the moment. So the only life is in the moment, right? Then you're not in the moment anymore, then you're thinking, of course. That's where the line is, yes, that's where the line is. And you can cross that line if you want. You gotta eat some mushrooms then. That's what it does. The mushrooms, they erase the line. No. LSD is artificial, right? Yep. You know why that is? The mushrooms are an entity on its own. So all the mushrooms on all the world is an entity on its own. And then you have the little separations of the species and all the sorts. And because of that, you get a divine experience. And back hundreds years back, it was common to everyone, to all people, just to have those like spiritual rituals. And they just all pushed it in the bin. And they say, no, we're catophiles. You're gonna believe in this white guy that was nailed on a cross and shit. And today is Monday, this 27th of Julius Caesar. That was all bullshit, right? So the bullshit we're in now, they created that for like hundreds upon thousand years, right? So if you see that, it's a whole, yeah, script that they just play out. I'm not saying it's easy, and that's why they need their secret organizations just to manage that whole thing. Because if you're really, really, really on the top, you have no idea what to do, and you just have to figure it out. You know, not easy. It's just like it is. They can control people and projecting the system that they want, but they also have to follow some guidelines, and the guidelines make sure that the script turns out how it has to turn out. So it's pretty complicated, but it's a very simple concept. But if you're the queen bitch from England and you have to decide for everyone, yeah, okay, you just okay. What you gonna do tomorrow? You wake up and you have to decide what the next 1,000 years is gonna be for this earth, right? So they got a whole system for that designed. So that's why people that come in the higher ranks are so amazed by the whole thing that they're just completely locked in the brotherhood, right? They will give up their family for that, and they probably have to do some blood sacrifices once they get at that level. Yes. French fries are great. Yeah, chocolate, but we have a king. Yeah, king and a queen. And they're the biggest human traffickers and pedophiles in the world. Everything is royalty. Your presidents are all from royalty lines. Just a little mashup from the original lines. Some people say Trump is a woman, so everything is possible. I think Trump is just a puppet like someone else, but they just I don't know. It's you can waste time on thinking why and how, but it's all a scam. So I don't even waste my time about that. You know, I've seen Trump is series of what's it called, the prospect or something when he hires people for his business with the. That was all a setup. It began 10 years ago. Back then, they were already setting him up for presidency. So probably Schwarzenegger is gonna be there one day. Yeah, you can just see it. And it's like I say, the somewhat. What is happening now?
There's like lots of stuff everywhere.
I think that they're trying to get the Muslims out of the medieval centuries and get them in the modern age at a very quick pace. Like we had a few hundred years to do that, and they just have to do it in a few decades. Because they're still, yeah, in the old culture, in the old. And if Christianity is a fake, then the Islam is a fake too, right? I'm not sure how they get the Buddhists out of their system, but look, it's all about fear porn, right? They have to put the fear porn in just for duality's sake and shit. And for people that say the atom bomb this or a meteorite that, now I know they it's not possible for humanity to be erased because we project this reality. So if we are gone, this reality is gone. So there's no option for that. And they can't be without us either because we do all the things that make this reality. They make nothing. They have no ideas. They need us to bring ideas to them. That's why they have their schools, so they can indoctrinate the people and use the ones that are useful to them, right? They get the degrees, right? They get the good grades and the university degrees and the whole doctorates and all that, you know? And they can use them. They can do nothing on their own. They're an inbred family of thousands of years. They're as stupid as the deep as the earth, flat earth is wide, you know? It's true, they're all inbred. So their DNA is fucked up. They tried make that's why that's also they have a lot of like affairs, you know. They just, especially the males, they just pick every girl or woman they want and then just, yeah, sometimes they just make a baby and then just steal the baby and raise it as their own and then use it as some kind of famous sportsman or something like that. You know, that's stealing children from another being. So, but again, what is wrong and what is right? That's how many layers there are and how difficult it is to switch from layer to layer, right? So a lot of people I talk to, I gotta stay in level 1, right? But with you, I can just go straight from level 20 to level 5 and back, you know? That's not given for everyone. Of course, yeah. Of course. Thanks. And that is my undercover mantle, you know. I'm an agent for truth, but they can't catch me here, you know. If I'm on the street beating cops and shit in the prison, getting in prison, I can't do shit. So I'm doing it secretly undercover here as a child that is playing Xbox. You can just look that up. It's on Wikipedia, the whole formula for that thing. What you're thinking now, there's already thousands of people that have that thought and they already investigated. And from those thousands of people, there are actual scientists that actually proved shit. The thing is, you have to look for it yourself, you know? True, true, true. True, but if I read on Wikipedia or wherever that science claims that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour, I see that as a truth. Not I don't see the truth of the actual ball rotating. I see that science claims it as a fact. So it's not a fact for me. It's a fact that science claims it as a fact. And then I reason logically, and I say, okay, then if you say that the atmosphere is pulling the helicopter along, then everything that has to fly against spin has a friction of 1,000 miles an hour atmosphere coming at them, right? It's ridiculous. You would be ripped apart, right? Leave alone a butterfly. I mean, it has nothing to do with smartness. It has nothing to do with that. It all has to do with levels of indoctrination. How hard were you trained in school, and how good were you in your training? Yeah, I have logic reasoning, but that's not smartness. I mean, there are people that can remember, I don't know, a zillion things, and I can't do that. Or they're smart too. I mean, uh, you're pretty smart if you ask me, because if you can follow all I'm saying, that's some people would have been throwing up in the bathroom right now.
It's on the way. Aight, I'll get back to work.
There was no one hurt. There was no one hurt. The bodies that flew out of the windows were all fake back. I just tried to test you, but now you see how easy it is to fool someone. And I think it may have been all bags, yeah. Because the timing was there just to get all people out and just, yeah, fake the whole thing. Yeah. Level 1 is already far for some people. Yes. That was a setup. That was... You know what I call level 1? Level 1 is like the cops dealing cocaine. That's level 1. So that's the first thing you come in contact with if you get like just level 1 underground, just in the whole hidden movements, the drug sphere, the prostitution, all that shit. Like I worked in a big club here. It was one of the most popular clubs in Belgium, and yeah, that was some dark shit. And you only see 10% of what's actually behind the screens. Yeah, it's all about money and drugs and power. Actually, that's the biggest drug. Fooling the people. That's what it's all about. Funny enough, while they just release the truth. Partial is when somebody moves, and if you aim at someone, it locks down. But if he moves, you lose the lock. Yeah. To me, it doesn't actually matter if it's full or not, but if I aim at something, I want it to hit it, right? I don't want to spend 5 minutes just to get one bullet shot in the leg. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm a level 1000, I should be able to shoot someone in the head, right? How many kills do I have, right? I can look at that up in settings right away. You know, it's all about the people that just are good at the shit and are scared to get killed by randoms. That's what it's all about. And for a random GCC mixed crews open list, it's bullshit. You know, put it on general settings where people can enjoy it, right? If you want to do a super deluxe specialized armed forces killing spree list, I don't know, with all your settings, with all your averages and death kill ratios, do it amongst each other, right? I have absolutely no problem with that, but if you want to open something up, then you can't go do it with randoms and then just be mad if they leave or if they just, you know. People are even mad when you hit them in the head with your fist instead. Okay. 3 o'clock almost. Nighttime. I think it's 6 hours difference. No, what time is it? Wait. It's for you. It's 9 o'clock. That's 8 hours. Alabama. Yeah. That's also ridiculous. All the time shit zones and all that. Did you just take me to the bathroom? God damn it. I'm fucking awesome at mental pictures, so that sucks big time now. I was like, how long should this dig be? I heard that. Oh, it's a big one. The runs, yeah. Sorry.
My new website covers all 3 of my careers.
Nah, I'm good with everything, man.
You're through to your garage. You need me to bring you a ride?
I have no problem with it as long as they don't rub it in my face. I'm a definite naturist, so I like to run around naked. No problem. It's awesome.
I'll get there as soon as I can. Okay, I got stuff to do.
No, I actually went on holidays naked, right? Like naturist, like resorts where everyone was naked. It was awesome. Best thing I ever did, right? If you're like, that's because the clothes fuck you up, right? We never had that problem when we were in ancient cultures, right?
I'll bet you be ready to use that
The whole
the second you
embarrassing
get out
thing
the
and all
door.
that. Whenever I got a girlfriend that was embarrassed, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, what is that embarrassing? I mean, just do what you want to do and just be good with it, right? I mean, I had a girlfriend that just, it's fucking 50 degrees outside. You want to go to the pool. No, no, no. There's people that know me, and I think I'm fat, so I don't want them to know that. That's what it actually is. I mean, then you're living someone else's life. You're not your own. If you're worried about someone else's opinions, you're gonna have trouble in this life, right? Because there's always someone hating it, no? Focus on the ones that love you, right? It's ridiculous. Yeah. And that's how girls get anorexic, yeah. But it's all a script, so everything has to be like it is. So she's meant to be that thin. So for example, the anorexic girl, she lives at home with her parents. She does nothing. She throws up everything she eats. So what's her use to society? Try to think about that and give me an answer. What's her use for society at that moment? Or a little bit later. Talk further.
God. What the hell? Psycho.
Yes, also true. True. That's the first level, first peer contact with her, yeah, with her fellow next human being. Yeah. What the bigger impact she has is on the whole humanity. Especially cases that come on TV. There's your big impact. I mean, if you ever have a big impact like that on your life, on society, I mean, congrats to you, right? Did the girl do it on purpose? No. Was she conscious of her mission? No. But was she useful? Hell yeah. How many girls are not gonna go that way now? You know? Same example, same example. You got a heroin junkie that's just laying in the gutter of the street and just tries to beg for money if he has the words for it. People think, oh, what a scum, what a pariah, why don't we just get rid of that shit? But he may even be more useful to whole humanity than the people that just walk by him. Decided to give him nothing. Because of what he's learning to people, right? Yeah, of course. Or worse, by thinking that people are thinking that they're better than him and realizing it 20 years later that it's not the case. So it took him 20 years to learn the lesson that the heroin junkie taught him. Was the heroin junkie conscious of it? No. Was he useful? Hell yeah. Once a person learns that, he might even teach his kids about it. So that's how you get a whole chain of events just by the heroin junkie laying in the gutter. So never let people just try to fool you in telling that some people are no use, right? And that as no matter what you do, I always tell people you cannot do nothing. It's impossible. You're always doing something. You're thinking, right? You're reminiscing, you're thinking, you're planning, I don't know.
More and more doctors have said that we need breast milk into our 30s.
Doesn't ring a bell right away.
Whoa!
Yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. That's why I choose not to vote. Of course. Well, there you go. And that's how you see which level that people are in, right? Of course, but I struggle too, you know. I mean, we all it's not a golden paved road, right? It's not meant to be. If it would have been, people would have got bored and never did it. Everything is exactly as it has to be. If you're not as understanding why your aunt or your mom got cancer, then yeah, you have to dig deeper. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I make my own music. No, I'm on SoundCloud. No, Liadi. But I think you find me under DJ Stacks with double X. No, I have a regular YouTube account and for my gaming. Yeah, there's a lot of experimental, like different. I'm just still figuring out the whole thing. I made a few remixes and all that. I've always been a DJ, so. And then yeah, once I get my hold on Fruity Loops, I was just going insane. Yeah, you can make awesome shit with that. I never paid attention to that. I was planning to do the same, but the problem is if I'm in a project, I tend to go too deep with it, you know. So I just sink myself in, and then it just becomes a too long project, and then I'm someone that needs to get things done right away, or just otherwise it would just lay around till it's never finished at all. Yeah. I have like thousands of projects, and the good ones I try to publish. But I know what the music industry is and how it works, so I'm not hoping anything about that shit, you know. The chances are everything what you want it to be. and then it and then it depends if your script is in that industry or not. In my life I had a lot of points where I had tried to conclude things and said like, okay, this is what I want and this is what I want to do, and most of the times I had to get back on it, and yeah, just destiny pushed me in another way, and I had to agree with destiny and say, yeah, this is what I want to do now. So, and that happened to me so many times that I'm not even bothering just thinking or worrying about it anymore and just going with the flow. Yeah, yeah. I just try to understand everything when it happens, and still not easy because I don't. It's not the easiest of roads that I'm traveling here, but try to have fun. As long as we're thankful for the whole experience, it's all good, right? What's your birth sign? Yeah, pretty competitive, right? You really want to do everything because you have to stay the king of the jungle, right? It's not a jungle anymore. Yeah, that's probably what pushed you into a little, like, how you call it, like the fake believe in supernatural, what do you call it, a superstition, right? Because I know my yeah, because the numbers talk to you, right? You just remembered it all your life, that it was eerie that shit like that happens. Like my uncle and my aunt and her daughter and her son, they're all born like 2 days from each other or something. Shit like that happens all the time, you know. It's just to program people and to give them an attention point, which triggers some activities or life paths. For me, it was also my birth date. It's 777777. And I got attracted to you because you were called Seven Secret. That's no lie. And now that we're talking like this, I understand the reason. It wasn't about your races at all. It was just about this conversation and what's probably gonna follow or something. I'm from 77, yeah, of course, yeah. No coincidence. I thought my birth date is 777777, so it's 21, it's 777. That's the day, and the month is the 7th, and the year is the 77. Yeah, yeah. That's fucking freaky shit. You're not the only one. There's a lot of characters like with like 777 in their name or shit. I always message them, yeah. I send them a message like, "What about the 7?" And some people they're like, "What the fuck's he talking about?" Right? And then just one day you invite me to a party and yeah, we have a conversation like that, which is recorded, by the way. I'm still broadcasting the list. And it, it's over for an hour or half an hour or something. So are you a Jew? You sound like a Jew to me. Totally not. I knew there was something about the name. Yeah, I was always curious about that. What is the secret, though? Yeah. The 7 stands for sacred, the holy, but not the Christian pedophile holy. You know, it's just you can just research that yourself, man. That's the like the numerology and shit. Geometria, numerology, sacred geometry, all that shit. Every number comes out of sacred geometry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're Satanists. They know a lot about the truth, right? Yeah. Yep. And nobody knows what it stands for. Only the people itself that are in it, yeah. So you listen to that shit a lot, you say me, yeah? You gotta look up Dr. Hashimoto or something. Mashiramoto or something. He died a few 2 years ago or last year. He did research to yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You put the heavy metal to it, it just freezes in chaotic, form. No geometry, That's how they make your body vibrate that way. So we're not bodies, we're just frequencies of like vibrating atoms. And the frequency you vibrate at is how you feel, right? So if you're a, if you're a death metal fan, you can have some bad vibrations, right? And your thought patterns will follow the same. That's a whole different thing than death metal. The piano is a sacred tool. That's pure vibration right there. I mean, a piano tuner, that's divine, right? You gotta tune it to the. Oh my god, that's awesome. That's awesome. He was a mason. God damn it. Yeah, still. The guilds, they were big in masonry, man. The tops of the guilds were all masons. That's what masonry is all about, They need the people in every sector. They need the top people. I tell you, you dig in your history, you're gonna find a mason. I tell you that right now. I'm pretty sure, actually. If they have a symbol, that means that they're masons already. I mean, why would you have a symbol otherwise? Yeah. I started a little research on my grandfather itself because he was a pretty good musician too. He played some clubs, so I have a sneaking suspicion too there. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant job, man. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 Yes. 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 True. That's true. Yeah. What do you think the house and the techno music resonates at? It's yeah. It all becomes worse and worse, right? You go take a look at those techno raves or those events. You know, people are just in trance, right? You don't even need drugs then nowadays. You just go stand next to the speaker and you're just gone. Music is one of the biggest, manipulation tools. You get the first levels of the lyrics, and then you have the 100th level of the vibrations, as you say. Huh? Nobody stands still with that shit, but they do. So nothing is a coincidence. You can see the genres of the music changing, and you can just trace the whole setup of everything. Yep. Same here. Wicked. Yeah, I loved it. Had a great time. Definitely. Alright, have a good meal, mate. Thanks. Cheers.